So the king did not give him the spade, and he himself continued. For how much time? He continued almost for an hour. And the sun went down, and during this time the sun went down. It became evening. The sun went down behind the trees. You can see that behind the trees the sun went down. Uh, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, he stuck the spade into the ground. He stuck the spade into the ground, and so uh, he must have given a great push to the head, and the spade must have gone into the ground, so that it can remain there only on its own, because of its sharp edge. It can pierce into the layers of the soil, and it can remain standing. Yes, so um, and the spade into the ground, and the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you, wise men, for an answer to my questions. I came to you, wise men, for an answer to my questions. I wanted my answers, and that's why I came to you. If you can give me no answer, tell me so, and I will return home. So it's now the king had started thinking that probably either he doesn't want to give him the answer, or he is not himself knowing the answer to these three questions that he wanted so badly to know. Sometimes it happens in our life that we are so close to our answers, but we, uh, but still we are denying to get them right away. There are many things the teachers know, and there are many answers the teachers know. But what will happen if all the answers are given to you straight away? Will it be good for you? Will it be a great help to you? If all the answers are given to you like your mother feeding the morsel directly into your mouth, is it good? I don't think so. Then the student doesn't learn anything. If he is given just in a smooth manner, the student must use his own mind in order to find out the ways to get the answer. He must reach the answers of his different questions, different subjects, um, by his own method. One of the great methods in the science says trial and error. We try many combinations, we think in different ways, and finally, uh, with the help of our elders, teachers, we should form the correct answers. Okay, so he was thinking, the king was thinking that it must be very easy to get the answer from someone, and that's why he kept on asking the king, the wise men, and then first he asked the wise men. He called many people of his kingdom, and by sending them messengers, and then when he was not satisfied, because why he was not satisfied? Why? Because all the wise men, they had their own opinions about answering the same question. Not answer the question, and the king was thinking that probably it was a waste of time for him to come there. Then suddenly the old man says, the hermit says, "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. "Here comes someone running." The king turned around and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. So the king turned around when the old man, when the hermit, he said that, "Look, someone is coming there, running." And so in the direction of the person who was coming towards them, and he was running, and that the king also saw uh, the man towards the man that he was approaching them. But he was in a bad shape. He was in a bad condition. Where was his hands? His hands were pressed against his stomach. They were not held gently, but they were pressed against his stomach. And from his stomach, what was coming out? Blood was flowing. Blood was oozing out. When he reached the king, he fainted, and probably because of the blood that was coming out, the blood that he had lost, and probably the strain of running, probably he was escaping from some enemy, and fell to the ground. He fainted. Fainted means he lost his consciousness. He lost his consciousness. He became unconscious. He became unconscious. He became unconscious. And the king and the hermit removed the man's clothing, and so they both helped the man and found a large wound in his stomach. They removed his clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief. Now just look at the king. He is acting like an ordinary man, uh, because had the same thing happened in his palace, would he ever touched such a man? No, not at all. He must have immediately called a doctor of his kingdom, and the doctor and other helpers and workers, medical staff, would have immediately assisted, would have come and done the work for him. But here he was all alone. He was with the hermit, and he knew that there is no one to help. So the king himself washed and covered the wounds with his, and what did he use? He covered it with his handkerchief. So he was sharing his things with others uh, in an open-hearted way. But the blood would not stop flowing. However, he tried and tried, but the blood kept on flowing. So he had to do a lot of work in order to press the wound, people would press so that the blood would stop. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. So he had to do dressing twice. He redressed dressed again. The man felt better. Because of that, because of the help given by the king, the man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water. Who brought? Not the hermit. The king himself. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time, the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet, silent, quiet, without uttering a word, without saying anything. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, tired by his walk. Earlier he was coming in the morning, he was coming with his helper, with his guard, and he was riding a horse, but long back he had stopped his guard and he came on foot because he wanted to pose himself like an ordinary person. Why he wanted to pose as an ordinary person? Yes, because there was one condition to talk to the hermit. And what was it? That hermit talked only to ordinary people. So the king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. Quite strange, isn't it? What is strange in this line? The king, tired by his walk and work he had done, lay down on the floor. Lay down on the floor. This part. What is strange in this? Yes, the king is supposed to sleep on nicely made bed, on soft and cozy bed. But here, where he was lying? On the floor. And that too. And slept through the night. Those of you who are used to of sleeping on soft bed and if suddenly you are asked to uh, sleep on the floor because some relative has come, then would you be able to sleep properly throughout the night? In many cases, no. Only few students who are used to of sleeping directly on the floor can sleep, but all cannot, especially those students who are used to of lying on cozy beds. Yes, so he was a king, and he must have a nice, beautiful home environment at his palace, and he was now posing as an ordinary man. Not only he was posing, but he really enacted uh, in the way an ordinary man must. And so he got the feel of the ordinary life. Yes. So, because what he did, he came on foot, first of all. Secondly, he helped the old man throughout the day. He kept on digging and digging and digging, preparing one bed after the other for soil. So he was so much tired by the day's work that he slept like a log. He slept like a log. He slept like a log, and not knowing where he was, lying down. Whether it was a nice bed, whether it was not at all a bed, whether so he was sleeping on the floor, on the hard floor, being a king. He was sleeping on the hard floor. So uh, on the floor and slept through the night. The whole night he passed lying down on the floor. Can you imagine? A thing used to of nice, cozy environment, atmosphere. He was facing the harsh conditions, but he slept throughout the night on the floor. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember, and it is quite true. When sudden changes come, suppose you are staying in Korea, and um, then suddenly you have to go to indoor for some work. Then you check into a hotel with your parents. When you sleep, then you lose the sense that where you are. And in the morning when you get up, then you will think in the beginning that you are in Korea only. And then it will gradually uh, come when you gradually come to your senses, then you will remember that oh, today we are not in Korea, we are in an indoor, and I'm lying down here in a hotel in a rented room, like that. So it was quite natural for the king when he awoke. It was several minutes before he could remember that where he was. He was in the hut of the hermit. Where he was, or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. He did not remember it for a while. And then, so as the realization came or must have come, he must have realized that, oh, this is the man he had saved yesterday by dressing his wound and redressing his wound and then giving him water and helping him in other ways. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw the king awake. Forgive me, forgive me. Please pardon my sins. Forgive me. Please don't punish me for my sins. Forgive me. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. King was not knowing why this man, whom he had treated yesterday, uh, and he was asking for his forgiveness. Forgive me, said the bearded man. The man wearing a beard, the man having a beard, he said in a weak voice, forgive me. It's a good word which all the humble people use. Forgive me. Whenever you make a mistake and you are pointed out, when when you realize, then you should say, please forgive me. Next time I will not do it. Please forgive me. Next time I will not do the same mistake. Forgive me this time. I will not do the mistake again. Said the bearded man in a weak voice. Forgive me, said the bearded man. But the king said, I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for. For what shall I forgive you? What have you done to me? You do not know me, but I know you. I am the enemy of yours, who swore revenge on you, who swore revenge on you, swearing, swore, I swear that I will kill the king. I swear that will kill the king. I will take the revenge. So swear, yes, taking an oath, swear, taking an oath. So the past tense of swear is swore. You have heard this word sometimes when um, the group of leaders are sworn in. When we choose our representatives for MP or for a country, and then all the ministers, they come together and they are sworn into the cabinet. uh, they are sworn in, SWORN, sworn in. And yes, so swear, swore, sworn, revenge on you. So you do not know, said, but I know. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. So he is trying to remind the king, I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. You must have heard about your enemy, that one of your enemies has sworn to take revenge on you because you put my brother to death. You put my brother to death and seized my property. You took away, you confiscated my property. Uh, I knew you had gone alone to see that hurt, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. So I had come here to attack you, to ambush you, ambush, to ambush. So I was waiting for you to return from this hut, and on some or the other point I will intercept and I'll kill you. So I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you. And you're on your way home. When you are returning back to your home, then I had made up this plan, I had made up this mind that I will kill you. But the day passed and you did not return. But the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding. So I left my hiding. I was hiding somewhere. And the bearded man was hiding somewhere, and he left his hiding uh, place. And I came upon your bodyguard. Ah, so I left my hiding, and suddenly I saw that there was your bodyguard standing, who recognized me and wounded me. Your bodyguard recognized me. Oh, this is the person who wants to kill my king. And so he wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I escaped from your bodyguard, uh, but still I would have died. But when I came here, then you gave me a different treatment, a better treatment.